All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, it didn't take outfielder Michael Conforto that long to become a household name with fans of the New York Mets when he was called up to the bigs in 2015. In 56 games that year for the Mets, Conforto batted 270 with 9 homers and 26 runs batted in as he helped New York win the National League East. And later that fall in the 2015 World Series, who can forget the pair of home runs that Conforto hit in game 4 of that series? Now, in 2017, Conforto made his only All Star game appearance as he was rolling that year. He had 27 homers and he looked like he was probably going to finish with at least 35, but then dislocated left shoulder prematurely ended his season that August. Now, Conforto still had some pop in his bat after he returned from the injury, but with the exception of the shortened 2020 season where he hit 322, excuse me, he was never able to produce a solid batting average at the plate. Now, Conforto entered the 2021 MLB season knowing that it could potentially be his final year with the Mets. And Conforto was hopeful to get a long term deal with the Mets done before the season ended, and it never happened. And Conforto didn't help his case last year as he only hit 232 with 14 home runs and 55 runs batted in 125 games for the Mets. Now, the Mets would make a qualifying offer to Conforto after the season ended, and if he had accepted it, it would have paid him more than $18 million for this season. But he and his agent, Scott Boras, declined it as they were seeking a bigger payday with a long term commitment from a club. However, that big payday never came from any club for Conforto. And as the 2022 MLB season is in full effect right now, Conforto is going to have to humble himself if he wants to play baseball this year. Now, I do think that a team will sign Conforto to play before this year is out, but it's obviously going to be on their terms. And, it's one of those where he's going to have to probably accept a 1 year deal for less than $10 million. And when Conforto gets signed, because I really strongly do feel that he is going to play MLB baseball this year at some point, unless he goes crazy at the plate this year, this is going to be the new norm for the remainder of his career as far as having to play on 1 year deal. So we're going to see how this plays out. And it's very interesting because you look at the mechanics of Conforto. He has one of the sweetest swings in baseball, but he strikes out too much. On his 7 year career average, Conforto strikes out 152 times per year. And you look at it, and I mean, he has such a compact swing. He's a perfect pull hitter, but he also has the ability to go to left center field as well. But something is just missing. That I can't put my finger on it, but the bottom line is something is missing there. You look at it and you have to wonder: has his injury history scared teams off? Possibly. You never know. I know that there are some people out there that were hopeful for a reunion between Conforto and the New York Mets once the lockout ended. I'm not holding my breath on it. I do think that he'll get signed at some point, but barring a rash of injuries at this point, I don't see Michael Conforto playing for the Mets here in 2022. He's in the prime of his career. He's 29 years of age, just turned 29 back in March. And I think what's going to happen now, he's going to have to see. He's obviously sitting out this first month of the season, but he's going to have to sit back and see if there are injuries of any kind, if there's a rash of injuries from a team and they need another corner outfielder. But the other thing is this: it's not like Conforto is just going to get signed and he's going to be game ready. He's probably going to have to go through several weeks of quote unquote spring training, which includes playing some minor league baseball with whatever club picks him up before he's called up. So this is just unfortunate because several years ago, Michael Conforto was looking like a potential long-term building block for the New York Mets. And as we sit here in mid-April, baseball, it's in full effect. We've seen the lockout go on for several months. We saw guys get signed in a frenzy prior to the lockout. We saw an even bigger frenzy once the lockout ended. And yet, Michael Conforto still does not have a baseball home for this year. It's going to happen at some point. It's not a matter of if, it's more like a matter of when, but it's still perplexing that a guy who has the talent of Michael Conforto does not have an MLB team to call his home for this year. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There is also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I'm signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.